I was going to say I'm not seeing it, but yeah. All right, no cursing.
I need to
You
open
look
up
at your
YouTube.
mirror, but you
I have the
yourself
urge
in
to.
that camera.
I have the urge to curse now.
So I have to ask you, Sinistar, is that a temporary fixture?
Well, I may reorganize.
We're up.
I may reorganize, but it's likely permanent. I want to put my turntable over, because I have a full desk over here you can't see.
Yeah.
I want to put my turntable and some speakers over on that side, but I'll probably leave this here.
All right.
It's likely permanent,
Okay,
but if you
Sinistar.
take penicillin, it should help.
Yes.
They make a cream for that now. All right, Sinistar, you can start whenever you're ready.
Can I, Dad?
Ooh.
You know, I start up Twitch ahead of time to make sure everything works and get all the initial talk out first, and then we turn on YouTube, so I don't have to trim any of the shit
It's
out.
just been like 3 weeks of pent up energy.
Look, I haven't cursed, okay? I haven't cursed yet. All right. Okay. Hey, guys. 1994 was a banner year. Do you know why? I graduated high school. Today on...
You went to high school?
Don't date
Yes, but I
yourself
had
over
With
the
as
no-
many high school nicknames
I
as
had-
he's
wait.
had?
What the hell's a nickname?
Yeah, exactly.
Don't nickname over the intro. Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of Press B to Cancel, your favorite podcast that's taken a couple weeks off. Yeah. If you didn't guess it, today we're talking about 1994. This is an ongoing series that we've been doing where we basically pick a year, a retro year. We've kind of been working both directions. We sometimes go into the 80s, sometimes go into the 90s. And this one today is a banner year, a banger of a year. We have some absolutely epic games, names that everybody knows for this year. I'm your
Mega
host,
Man, the
Sinistar.
Wily Wars. I think we can probably just get right into the game of the year that we all agree on and talk about the wonderful Genesis hit that was exclusive to the American Sega channel. We all love Wily Wars so very much.
Can I tell you that game actually got mentioned organically with a conversation with my brother this week?
That's the power of Wily Wars.
He was
Yeah.
He was literally just killing time and didn't want to invest in anything new that he was going to get hooked into because he was getting the Switch 2 in a couple of days.
So
all
he
right.
spun up Wily Wars.
Did he not have Circus Charlie at his fingertips?
Knowing he would probably enjoy it to some degree, but not enough to where it would hook him more to where he would not want to play his new games.
So all you got to do is listen to the music, and that'll turn you right off.
I thought you were a Sega kid, Chard, but anyway, yes.
Who needs a cold shower when Wily Wars is out there?
We're not talking about Circus Charlie today. And as much as Jake wants to, we're not talking Wily Wars today. I don't know. Maybe we are. I don't know Jake's picks. Anyway, I'm Sinistar, and I am not alone today. I'm joined by...
Yeah, I know Chard's picks. We're good. Don't worry.
Jeez. Jesus Christ.
You're right. It's been a
2
few
weeks
weeks.
out, guys. We're
the
first podcast.
completely out of practice.
Hey, Chard, how are you?
AI, okay?
Hey, Chard, how are you?
I'm fucking great. Sorry, YouTube, but I'm fantastic. You know, YouTube won
Jake,
Best Alternative Album for 1994, so it is a banger year.
I'm doing much better now. I mean, you know, you have podcasts of 4, sometimes 5 guys in their 40s and 50s. One of us is going to hurt their back and be out for a week, and that was probably me this time. So, apologies. So,
and
I'm mostly recovered now.
You're actually graciously waiting for people to ask how you are.
Oh, no, it's fine.
How are you?
I am pretty good because my Mr. Pie is somewhere in the United States at this point.
Nice.
Just so everybody's who isn't watching, we're watching.
I have not been informed of any tariff stuff yet because the USPS does not yet have their hands on it. However, last I know, it was in Whittier, California 2 days ago, awaiting to get to the USPS.
Might I suggest
Oh, Wolf's going
He's
to the
already
shelves.
got one. He's already got one. Get your bingo
Yeah,
cards
this
out.
is for those listening, I'm showing my 8-bit dough M30, which is the Genesis. There you go. Oh yeah, there you go. There you go.
Exact same one.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
I have
Fantastic.
one
might,
too.
but it might be too late.
Yeah, I also have the SN30 or whichever, the
Yes.
one that's the Super
The
Nintendo. Yeah,
SN30.
yep.
That's the Pro.
Yep.
But there's also
Yep.
the classic SN30,
Yep.
which I had a couple of as well.
Okay. That's awesome. We may have to do okay. We've done a couple Mr. episodes, but we haven't done a Mr. Pie. And I know it's essentially the same.
Wow, that was
I
a
know-
weird statement.
Well,
Wow.
we yes, but
You
I
learned
would
that
go
in
to
high school
bakery.
too?
And we're going to
Yeah.
get a pie. And we're going to find the mister that baked it. And then we're going to talk to him
yeah,
about it.
I would love to hear what the how your take is on it, because this is, for those that are unaware, this is a third party essentially clone of the DE10 Nano, which is the main board for the Mr. project. And so this is a cheaper, supposedly equivalent alternative, which is awesome, because the DE10 Nano, basically they got wind of what it is, the pandemic happened, and they basically just said, price, I don't know, what are consoles going for these days? $400? Sounds
Yeah.
good.
And that was
Yeah.
way back in 1994 when they started talking about that, huh?
Yes. Yeah, of course.
Good
Wait.
try
All
to
right.
bring us
Once I
back
have
on
my-
track. Look at
Yeah,
Chard
I can do that
go.
right now. Once I have my Mr. Pie, I'll be able to play all these games we talk about on that.
Yes, you will. Okay.
Mr. Pie was my nickname
So-
in high school.
Let's get right into it. So for those that have not listened to these episodes before, we have each picked 2 games for the year. We have a runner-up, which we'll do first, and then we have our game of the year for 1994. I believe we're starting with Chard Monk today. Chard, what is your runner-up?
I'm picking first because I'm tired of Jake stealing on mine. So to remedy that, I'm gonna go ahead and go first. I'm gonna pick Wily Wars for
Ha!
no, I'm just kidding. Absolutely
you
not.
should.
No, so as
Somebody
I should.
needs
No,
to.
so way back in the day, Nintendo was feeding us the goods, right? Back in 1994, we were eating really fucking good. Back in the 90s and the 4s. So we're gonna go ahead and lead this off with a hot banger known as, you guessed it, Super Metroid, which I believe is Metroid 3, if we do the
Yes.
math
Yes.
correctly.
Yes.
Yes.
It
For those
says
of you who
actually
don't know,
before the
it
title
does.
screen.
It says it in the title screen. For those of you who didn't know, and everybody thought, wait, how do we get from Metroid 1 to Metroid 3 on the Super Nintendo? Nobody owned a Game Boy, which Metroid 2 was on the Game Boy, which was the return of Samus, which was a great game. And then
It's a good game.
18,000 remakes of it since then. But we're not talking about that one. We're talking about, that's right, Super Metroid, which easily one of the top games off of the Super Nintendo, period. Music wise, character wise, we all love fucking Samus. She's badass. She's got some awesome armors. The sprites in this game are bar none some of the best. You get some good jump scares in this game with the Crocomire. You got some really cool, unique boss fights that you do with Craig and Ridley and all the others. Just unlocking the whole area. It's basically just the original Metroid, but beefed up, way prettier and way more fun. I mean, who doesn't like running around grabbing speed boosters and then zipping your ass across the map? I've played this game so many freaking times, and I absolutely adore every second that I play in this game. Even that stupid underwater boss that grabs you and it takes 500 years to figure out that you need to electrocute yourself to kill it. That boss was quite tough. I can't remember which one that one was called.
Isn't there another way to kill
I
him? I
remember.
thought.
What was
I-
her
there's
name? It was
probably quite a
Meridia-
few.
Yeah.
In
Yeah, it's in
Meridia.
Meridian. Yeah, she's I'll tell you what, man, some of the secrets in this game, and they're not even secrets because it's where the map takes you, but stuff like blowing up the glass tube with the super bomb, and
Yeah.
when you've run through that area 800 times, and then you realize that leads you to a completely different area, absolutely blew my mind as a kid. And even subsequently as adult, I still love playing this game. I've done it for many charity events. And I love playing this freaking game. I'm not a speed runner at it by any stretch of the imagination, but you'd be hard pressed to find any more action platformers like this,
For
or I mean, it's a Metroidvanian, right? It's Metroid. It's the
yeah,
original Metroidvanian.
for the record, this is my favorite. This is my favorite Metroid. For the
I'd have
record,
to agree. I think this is probably my
Yeah.
all-time favorite Metroid in the entire series. We talk about the primes and the first-person view and
sure,
how
sure.
cool that concept and everything was, but when it comes to side-scrolling running, there's no better Metroid than Super Metroid. My humble opinion, of course.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I like Zero Mission
guys
and Dread quite a bit, but I think I would say, yeah, I would agree with you. Super Metroid is definitely my favorite of the series as well.
Yeah, because one, Zero Mission is on a handheld, even though it emulates what Super Metroid was doing really well and applies it to the first Metroid game. And it one-ups it in a lot of ways. It's still very small resolution screen, so it's limited real estate there and visuals. And then it's also just without Super Metroid, there is no Zero Mission. Super Metroid was something special, especially like the way that game was like show don't tell in so many ways.
Yeah.
And you get spore spawn and it's like fade in and you start fighting this giant plant monster. And then you fall down the hole with all the little alien creatures and the bird. And they're showing you how to use your abilities and you don't realize it until you do.
And you could choose to save them at the end, like they come back. Like there's a lot of really cool reoccurrences in this game. The Mother Brain fight is spectacular on all the levels. I mean, you started out very similar to the first one, and then it escalates into this huge mecha brain
and it was
thing. And
cinematic as hell for a Super
the
Nintendo
music
game.
going with it.
Like
man,
those moments, right?
This one definitely still gives me chills as I play it. There's some really cool concepts to it. There's betrayal. There's redemption. There's everything in this game. This game is just one of the best to come out of 1994, and it's an unfortunate that it shares a timeline with some other games that came out in that same year, because this one would easily be.
I was gonna say in any other year this would be a game of the year.
What, the year before or the year after? Easily.
Yeah, but holy crap!
No, it'd have to be 2 years after.
But holy crap! This game, I mean, as a runner-up, this game is of a tier of game of the year quality. It really is.
Yeah.
Wait, this is your runner-up?
This could easily take 2.
What?
This is his runner-up. Yeah.
This is my runner-up.
Had he not picked this probably would have been my choice for game of the year.
All right.
I also want to point out that I offered it to literally anybody else and nobody took it. So
that's not true. I offered to trade you.
That's fair. All right, fine.
I think next time, you're right, Wulff, like you said offline, next time we just don't tell each other our picks and we just let fate decide who gets it first.
So you can steal
up.
Yeah, we have a 20-minute episode because all 4 of us picked the same 2 games.
Listen, my winner is a winner for a reason, okay? And yes, it's better than Super Metroid.
Yeah. Fantastic. No, this game, I mean, it is. I'll be fair here though. If it weren't for the stupid moments in Dread where like I am like a ball of stress trying to get away from those whatever things are, the whatever. Yeah, I mean, Amy, if it weren't for those, I might argue that has a place at a competitor.
Okay.
So I mean, realistically, Dread is almost as good. Almost as good.
See, I'd argue that added feature of stress brought to the game, it makes it in a tier of its own like that. What I didn't like was the having to use the supercharged weapons to stop the Amy's, which was using that small stick to try and aim your arm cannon properly. It was a pain in the butt. But the stress of running from it, I mean, that just caters to my own jump scare nature of playing horror games, right? Yeah. So that's just my thing.
I do want to say that also Super Metroid is part of one of my favorite hacks of all time, ROM hacks. There is the Super Metroid Cross Link to the Past randomizer hack, where you literally can go into both games and get items in one and not the other. Like you can find the Master Sword in Metroid and then find the, like the bombs in Metroid that for Link. That cross-pollination and how that all works is freaking awesome. It's wizardry how it works, and it's awesome.
That's cool.
Very difficult to finish, but it's a lot of fun. So if anybody's not sure how to do that, just look for Super Metroid Cross Link to the Past randomizer. There's nothing quite like that one. There really isn't.
That sounds cool. That sounds cool.
All right. Well, I can't really go clockwise because I'll probably end up going last because I'm hosting. So we're going to go Jake next.
It's star pattern.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. My
changing the
pick
bolts.
is my
Zorro?
runner-up is Super Metroid. We're going to talk about Super Metroid. No, that's not what we're going to do.
Runner up.
Fantastic. Hey,
You
so
didn't
this
even
is that
hold it for your top.
This is that 20-minute episode. My runner-up was Super Metroid 2. That's weird.
Fantastic.
It's great when we all agree.
Fantastic.
No, my runner-up is going to be Dynamite Heady. I had to pick a Sega game because I feel like we don't talk about Sega Genesis enough, and I am a Sega kid, unlike the Chard over there who does not like Wily Wars. But that's okay because I bet he's played Dynamite Heady, which is one of my favorite games from Treasure. Anybody who knows retro games knows how solid Treasure's games are always are, and how usually very unique that they are. This is not a studio that does sequels. And as much as I would love to see a Dynamite Heady 2 at some point, I just don't think there needs to be one. For those that don't know, this is like a mascot platformer, I guess.
It looks like Cuphead.
In a lot of ways, yeah.
Yeah,
I think so. But it's more, instead of a shooter, it's more of like a platforming game. Although level, for those watching on YouTube, I'm showing off one of the shmup levels. Yeah. And I just wanted to highlight this level and how unique the character designs are. In this particular level, you're fighting a boss that starts off...
Almost got fingered.
Starts off with one phase and changes the age. The face sheds to show a different age of the face. And there's like a baby phase, a middle age, a toddler, and an old lady phase. Like it's a pretty interesting boss fight. And every phase is quite distinct and quite different. And the whole game is like this. Every boss is somewhat puppet or stage inspired. The whole game takes place over like a sound stage or a stage environment. So you'll see like spotlights and ladders and behind the scenes stuff, and then it all comes into place as you go through the level. But it's a very solid platforming game where it's called Dynamite Heady because the power-ups are heads. You literally shed your head and get a new head with a different ability. And some of them are like a hammer head, which lets you destroy certain blocks and does more damage. There's a superhero head that I think affects your jumping. There's a tiny head that shrinks you down so you can go through small passageways. There's an invisible one. There's an invincibility one. There's one that shoots sparks for some reason. There's a wide variety of power-ups, and you kind of get them as you play through the game. In some ways, this is like Sega's answer to Kirby, if that makes sense to folks when they're thinking about this game.
It makes sense.
But yeah, it's quite a lengthy platform game, very difficult. There is also something called secret points, and every stage there's one or two hidden things you can do, hitting a certain light fixture, killing a certain enemy, or something time-related, and you unlock a secret bonus point. And it has audio cues, actually, which is funny. You'll say, you unlocked a secret bonus point. It's pretty interesting. Right. But if you get those, you get a little nod at the end of the game. So to beat this game and get all the secret bonus points is quite challenging. I remember doing it as a kid once. It took me quite a bit. This is another game I first found on the Sega channel, and I've played this all the damn time. Like this is one of my go-to Sega Genesis games, and it's Treasure. Everything Treasure has made in the past was always solid. Even if I didn't like that genre, they've always made solid games, right? So, you guys played Dynamite Heady? I've talked about this before on the podcast. I don't know if you guys have actually sat down.
I have literally heard the name before today. That is literally my entire experience. I'm looking at this going, I've never seen this before.
As a faux Sega kid, as Jake likes to refer to me as, I did play this game. This game is absolutely challenging and is this very difficult game, as Jake stated. But I love the soundstage environment. I love that your health is on a stage light and the boss's health is also on a stage light. I love that whole feel of it. The power-ups are really cool. This was basically, if you didn't have a Nintendo or Super Nintendo and couldn't play Kirby, this was your option on Sega, and it was good. And it's a shame because this does feel like, as Jake said, like a mascot, like it was trying to be the next kind of Sonic thing, but they, Treasure doesn't make the sequels, so it's hard to, make someone the mascot if you only have one of their games.
One game. Yeah.
But this game is a lot of fun. It's got some really cool platforming features in it. Like Jake said, it does the shmup stuff, cool bosses, cool enemies, exceptionally challenging game. This game is no slouch, and you got to be real good to beat this one up.
This looks insane.
It is insane. It really
Yeah,
is. It truly
this
is.
is one of the later stages I'm showing right now where it's quite difficult, but
It-
in a lot of ways
yeah.
it reminds me of Sonic, right? Like the slow parts of Sonic, but I would always rather
It
play this than
reminds
Sonic.
it reminds me of Turtles on this stage.
This is very Mega Man X looking to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, in
Neat.
today's stage, when you have emulators, I mean, Wulff, you're getting Mr. Pie soon. This is one that I'd go to and try. 'Cause
I'm gonna have to,
This
speaking
is-
of said controller, the Genesis copy controller here, I'm gonna have to try this one out.
I don't know if I'm not mistaken. I think it's on the Genesis Mini,
It
Yeah,
might
I think
be.
it is. I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
but it's one I've not fired up. Well, maybe I have, but I remember trying this back then, and I just could not get into it. This game, I think this is one that didn't click with me.
It's angry. It's an angry game.
It
This is
I
not
don't
a
know.
game
There
for
was
children.
you're not wrong. This was in the era of all the hey, we're all gonna come up with mascot platformers. So you had like what was it, Oscar or whatever, and then
7-Up.
7-Up Spot.
yeah, there was one that was like supposed to be a play on movies, and I think his name was Oscar, like the awards show.
Oh, okay.
There was Arrow the Acrobat. There
Yeah,
was
I remember Arrow.
Yeah.
And so I think this just kind of fell there for me, and I just never really got into it. Like, there's only so many mascot games you want to make time for, and
Yeah, it's
So-
also
I don't
got
know.
the control scheme can be a little bit challenging. There was kind of like Rocking Cats. I think you played Rocking Cats, Wulff.
I know
where
Rocking Cats. Yeah.
yeah, I
you
love
have the
Rocket
punch
Cats.
glove. Okay, well, this is similar in that you can use the head to kind of grapple onto ledges and pull yourself up, and that mechanic takes some getting used to. And there's certain stages where you're kind of forced to do it as you're trying to get through a scrolling stage. As it scrolls up, you have to head jump. Those ones were more difficult than most, and I don't remember liking those stages, but they're a little bit tricky. But yeah, pretty
This
solid game.
kind of looks like a precursor to Earthworm Jim.
They were around the same time, weren't they? If I
I
remember
think so,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's the
'Cause,
same thing, right?
like,
The great
rip your
solid
head off
graphics.
and-
Yeah.
Well, it was going with the Battletoads thing too, where it was
Yeah.
using the 3D spinning, like in this level, the
Yeah.
Revolution kind of level.
Yeah.
It's hard. It is
So,
so freaking
Jake,
hard.
you
Like,
said
Yeah.
you said this is like a
Trust me.
go-to, like sometimes you spin this up kind of game. So is this kind of like my punch out to your Genesis like game?
Yeah, because for every core on the Mister, because if I have 5-10 minutes on break or something, I'll go to the machine behind me and I'll spin up a core and I'll pick one or two games from each console that I like to play, and this is probably my go-to for the Genesis, right? Like I'm with
Okay.
you. Like for me, it's Mario on the original Nintendo because I can beat that game in like 5 minutes, easy peasy.
Fuck you.
Yeah, nobody has issues with Mario Brothers 1 on this podcast.
Fuck you.
But,
No.
but
I
like,
gotta
yeah,
say, I'm looking at Treasure's lineup of games, and honestly, none of them have ever clicked with me.
really?
There's something about Treasure that just doesn't hit me.
Is it 'cause they're
To be
harder?
fair, I've never tried Light Crusader.
So
Is it 'cause
I was
they're
surprised to
hard?
see that they made Radiant Silvergun and Ikaruga, because I know those are
Yes.
like hugely beloved shmups.
no shade. If it's too
but,
hard, I
like,
get it. I'm not
Mischief
good at half the
Makers,
games anyway.
I did not like Mischief Makers.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Light Crusader, actually, I talked about Light Crusader on one of our earlier episodes as a really fun RPG. That's definitely not what I expected from Treasure, but it's also really solid. Mischief Makers is the one where if people found was it Alien Soldier was really hard, and Gunstar Heroes, I think was them.
Yeah, good
Also
start.
I know
really hard.
I know that game.
Yeah, those ones I could never get anywhere in those ones, but Dynamite Heady and Mischief Makers are ones I got into pretty good.
They did
I
Alien.
played a lot of Mischief
Soldier?
Makers.
Yeah.
I guess I see that now. I can see that they did Alien Soldier now. Okay.
Yeah, they did Alien Soldier.
That game is tough, but it's fun. But man, is it tough.
Yeah, but they
right.
make good stuff. So anyway, Dynamite
right,
Heady is my
this-
runner-up. It's definitely a game that people should check out.
That's a
I
good
was
pick.
gonna say
I like
this looks like a game I need to try out for sure.
Yeah. And then immediately throw your controller against the wall and play something else.
Yes.
Like why?
Thankfully it's
That's
wireless. It's wireless, so it can go a long way.
It'll go a lot further. Yeah. Down the hall.
All right. Excellent. Well, that looks like a cool game, honestly. And I'm glad that we had a Genesis pick. Thank you for that, Jake. All right. Mr. Werewolf. What is your runner?
I am going to bring the good Mega Man game from 94. We're going Mega Man X2 here as my runner-up.
Nice. X2 is a good one.
High quality.
That's a good one.
I absolutely fell in love with Mega Man X1. And I mean, partly because Zero was an awesome character. You know, at the time, the fact that Mega Man had so much story and dialogue in it was huge. So, you know, when Mega Man X2 comes along and you start hearing murmurs of, you know, Zero returns somehow, and then you play the game and you see it for yourself, and you're seeing these characters, like there's Surges who looks like a robot Dr. Wily. You start trying to make these connections to the original game. This one was faster paced than X1 in my mind. And some of the boss fights were like, because it gave more big arenas than the first game had for boss fights. I think the first game, the only really big arena was Storm Eagle. And I think this one had a couple of them.
Yeah.
And then this one also played with the arenas more. Like in the Gator one, you're like, if you fall in the mud, you're slowed down. You want to stay up on the walls as much as possible, stay out of the mud.
Right.
The desert has the storm blowing you around while Overdrive Ostrich is zooming past, and he ducks into the background and telegraphs his move there, and you got to avoid it, and then avoid him dashing at you. I love this game.
This is a good game.
This is a good one. The music is badass.
Yeah.
And, you know, it just feels fast. Like, to me, Mega Man has never been quite so run and gun as Mega Man X2.
That's fair. So I'm going to throw this out there because the video that we're watching is a Press B original.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's GP, and he did this. I think this is the one that he did for me, because every birthday that I do, or every birthday I have, I guess every rotation around the sun, GP does a video for me for my birthday. And it's games that I will never, ever, ever be able to like master, like our Game Whisperer GP.
Yeah, GP
he's really good at this.
Clearly can speak into any game. And as if you're watching this on YouTube, come follow us on YouTube.
Yeah,
he's just walking through this game like
he's showing me how to beat Mega Man. I think he did 1, 2, and 3 or something as part of it.
You asked for all 3 the 1 year, and he did all 3.
Yeah,
and they're all on our channel. It's really great.
And it takes him like, I don't know, 15 minutes for each or something. It's something ridiculous.
Yeah.
And he of course explains it the whole time, so that, and he gives me a little grief while he's going. But yeah, no, X2, I will live this game vicariously, and I love this game vicariously. I have watched multiple streamers play this. I think I watched you play this, Chard.
Yeah,
if I remember right.
Yep. Yeah, I had streamed. Yep, I streamed.
And I watched GP play it, and GP did the videos, etc. And I love this game. I will never be good at this game, but I love this game.
I wish I liked these games. Had the. I don't. You know what it is? It's something about having to do the charge shots versus the pellet shots to get through some bosses. I did a gaming contest about 1.5 years ago on Big John's channel, and it was random. You picked from a board of challenges that he had prepared, and one of them was freaking Mega Man X. I think it was the first one, but the whole series plays the same to me. And it just, I struggled on the very first boss, is fucking Chill Penguin, and just could not beat that boss for the life of me. And it was just so frustrating. Like, the game looks amazing. The soundtrack is amazing. But it's just like, it's the only game I know where people automatically go into the menu to change the controls so they fucking dash faster with the shoulder buttons. Like, it's such a weird thing. But I know people love this franchise. I think a lot of people like the X series more than the classic Mega Mans, probably, which you know, I can't argue with. But it's definitely not my favorite.
I do feel like they're slightly different beasts.
Yes.
But it's funny that you're like, the X games all feel the same. I feel like they're way more different from each other than the Mega Man series.
Yeah.
Like once you get past Mega Man X3, they start to feel wildly different from one another.
Yes.
How many
From
other
entry
are
to
there?
entry.
Like
8?
7 of these?
8.
There's 8 X games?
8.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think PlayStation 2 was the last one to get an X game, I think.
It could have been. Yeah.
I think it was 8. Yeah.
Yeah, it was PS2, GameCube, Xbox.
Look at me know my shit.
There you go.
I am certainly not a pretty face on a podcast, but
this is a banger of a pick. I mean, how can you pick at least a runner up, if not a game of the year, and not pick a Mega Man if it comes out? Now, I'm saying that in the era of like up through like, I don't know, the late 90s.
Yeah.
Mega Man lost its way for a while.
I think anything beyond Mega Man X3/4, we get a little bit into the weeds with the X series. My personal opinion. That's my personal opinion. But 1 and 2 and 3 are freaking awesome from start to finish. And Wulff is very much right. I love 2's. That there's almost like some secret bosses that are in there that you can go by and not finish the game. They may be in a place, they may not be in a place. There's like locations on the map that you can go and discover where they're at and fight the extra bosses that are running around I forget, like the 3 Maverick pirates or something that you can go and hunt down, which I think is pretty damn cool. You got the creature bosses, the Mavericks that are, the animals are cool, the crocodiles, the centipedes, the moth. Even the moth has some cool concepts to it. The boss fight for the moth is really neat, where it's
because it's got 2 phases.
Some point. Yeah, it's my entrance into Soulsborns all started with Mega Man X, because then I was like, wait, there's another phase of this bullshit.
Wait. So you're saying that there's a whole bunch of lore on their weapons?
There is actually a whole bunch of lore in everybody's weapons. That's actually probably a true statement.
Mega Man fans, though, are deep into the lore of this series, though. People really get into Mega Man's backstory and lore. I don't even know what the hell a Maverick is, but I know people get right into this. Like, fan comics are a huge thing for Mega Man.
I can tell you, if you want to get into a little bit into the weeds, a Maverick is technically, it is a Reploid specifically that has been infected with a virus that was originally called the Sigma virus, was later to be discovered to be the Zero virus, ultimately created by Dr. Wily and implanted in Zero to infect all future Reploids because he hated Dr. Light that much.
Okay, what's a Reploid?
Mega Man X, Zero, all the
Mega
robots.
Man X, the robots, the cyborgs.
Are there humans in this world still in the X series, or is it all Reploids?
Yeah.
Is there?
There are.
No, they're humans.
Okay.
They're just Reploids are the main.
In X2, you interact and have conversations with Dr. Kane a number of times. So
okay, this is like a freezy situation.
The world's not all
I don't know what
robots.
Reploids are in Canada. We call them something different.
Freezies. They're
also,
freezies.
Yeah. Freezebloids.
If I remember correctly, was it X2 that had the Wayne's World reference?
It might have.
You find the secret upgrade capsule from Dr. Light, and I think he says, "I am not worthy. I am not worthy."
Oh, nice. I know that in one of them there's a super uppercut, right?
Yes, that's in 2.
Fireball.
Yeah, that's this. That's this one.
The first one, and the hurricane kick, I believe, is in 3. I think it is.
That's funny.
They brought all that stuff, and I like how they kept that, I guess, that meme alive in the time where, you're still getting the Hayuken and the Hadouken and all that stuff. The thing that I really liked about X was the armor upgrades and the blaster upgrades and finding the cool upgrades to your costume and make you look cooler and make you look a little bit different. I thought that was kind of neat. And that runs throughout the entire X series. So I think that was a pretty cool addition. You're like, whoa, I can make a Mega Man cooler than he already is. Sign me up, bro. No, big fan.
Nice.
Yeah. Good call.
Fantastic pick. I'm not trying to move us along, although I'm kind of a little bit trying to move us along. Anything else to call out?
Fair.
Okay.
I do want to mention that had the CX4 chip, which is what allowed it to do the 3D wireframe characters.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
So
yeah.
You have that big sword thing that was flinging around. That was 3D wireframe. The final boss makes use of it pretty well. The
Sigma's,
opening sequence does it
you
with
fight
Mega
the
Man
internet.
X's outline and
So
Mega Man versus the Wi-Fi.
So much like Star Fox, they included the chip on the cart.
yes.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, that's an interesting call out. Nice.
Right.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm up for runner up. My
go.
runner up has been playing up behind me the entire time. So being a DOS/PC kid, and I know that this was released, I believe, the same year on the SNES, but Blizzard released a banger of a game called, hey, funny enough, Blackthorn. It'll come up here in just a sec. What's interesting about this is I had no idea who Blizzard was, and I played this game. I finally knew who Blizzard was during Warcraft and StarCraft era.
Yeah.
and then I went back,
knew who Blizzard was.
and then I went back and saw Blackthorn in their arcade. I'm like, what the? That was a Blizzard game? Yeah, apparently it was a Blizzard game. So
I did not
okay,
know that
so,
until you said something about it. Honestly,
Yeah.
I was not aware of that either.
So this game is funny enough, it actually the planning from it came basically kind of they looked at Another World and they were like, that's really cool.
Mhm.
And so we've talked about Another World before. It's kind of that side-scrolling anime like rotoscoping, which of course stems off of Karateka and that era and Prince of Persia. But basically, this introduces it is a platformer in parts. There are parts you have to run and jump. There are parts you have to, etc. But really, it's more of a puzzle platformer, which we probably need to do a ranking on at some point. Puzzle platformers.
That's actually
But
good.
yeah. But what's cool is you have the ability to kind of slink into the background, so that like when the enemies are shooting you, they can't shoot you, and then you can pop forward, you can shoot them, you can fire blindly behind you. I mean, this really kind of had some very cool early kind of that rotoscoping animated Another World kind of aspect to it. And it's just a great puzzle platformer. Yeah, you earn keys, you earn bombs, you earn upgrades. It's just, I mean, what can
Shoot
you
goblins.
say, right? Yeah, you
What-
shoot goblins.
What version was this for the people watching the YouTube video? Was this Sega CD?
This was the MS-DOS version.
Oh, okay,
Mm.
great. Because
Yeah,
this was on a few different
so-
platforms, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
a
mean, it
bunch of
came
them.
out in 1994. It came out, I believe, on the DOS version, and then it also came out on the Super Nintendo version. I think all of the other ports were afterwards,
Okay.
and I think there was a 3D port that was demoed, but I don't think it was ever released. And there's kind of, if you look at the lore, there's no understanding why it wasn't released. So probably an interesting topic, Thrak, if you're listening, for the 3DO experience to talk about. Member of the podcast network we're a part of, the SuperPod network that we're part of. Anyway, yeah. So I mean, just a great puzzle platformer, akin to Prince of Persia and Another World.
How long is this one? Is it the same as like Another World or Flashback? Is like 6-7 stages, or is
It's 7 stages,
Okay.
and I mean, honestly, I think after a few playthroughs, you probably, I don't know what somebody's going to go look up the time run on these, but I would expect an hour-ish if you've played it before
Okay.
and you can make it through.
I
But
mean,
of
that's
course, your
fine.
first exploration is going to be hours and hours, right?
Oh
Right.
yeah.
So
I never
Yeah.
played Blackthorn, but Jake and I gushed about Another World on
Yeah.
a previous episode together. We absolutely adore that game. And I played Flashback a lot more than Blackthorn. I didn't know Blackthorn was even in the talking until after I met Sinistar, to be honest with you. It was one of those games that you see the cover of and you're like, oh, it's that one. But I never in
Yeah.
my life thought that it was something as similar to Flashback. And Flashback, though a great game, frustrates the ever living hell out of me.
Really?
And this looks just like it's a different style. It's something that my brain at the time as a child never really understood. I never got past the jungle level in that one, which is the first stage, I believe, because there was a lot of it's a puzzle, but it it doesn't feel like a puzzle when you're playing it. It feels like you're supposed to be running around and gunning. You got your unlimited pistols, so you're just blowing the shit out of anything you see. But then you get stuck because you got to unlock a door or go find a platform that moves or get bombs to open up something. And when I was a child, I didn't put 2 and 2 together.
Right.
There was some puzzles that needed to happen with this. Playing it as an adult, I got better and I had more patience. And I need to give this one a try. I think I played it on the Steam Deck once or twice after you talked about it, because you've mentioned it more than once on this podcast.
Yeah.
And it's just so much like Flashback that it's so funny to me. I mean, I don't know which one was before or after, but to me, it will always be after Flashback because that's the first one I played. So
I think it was afterwards. Yeah.
Okay. I think Flashback I thought was 92, 93-ish.
Probably.
Yeah, it was 92.
Okay. That's what I thought. Wow.
Yeah.
I think by the time this came out, they were
today.
already neck deep in the development of the sequel that was no good.
Right.
So,
wow.
yeah.
I actually feel like I know what I'm talking about today. Holy crap.
Blackthorn to me, because I had played Prince of Persia, I had played Out of This World, so it felt like those with some heavy metal funk rubbed on it. And by that I mean the heavy metal animated film that I probably was too young to be aware of, but my uncle was a geek and would love to show me shit that I shouldn't have seen. So
yeah. No, I remember feeling, because in 94, as I alluded at the beginning of this episode, I graduated from high school. I remember playing this in 94 and thinking to myself, this is gritty on a scale that games aren't.
Yeah.
You know, you have the, like, here in a second, I'm watching the footage. Here in a second, this ogre is going to shoot, and I'm going to dodge, and he's going to end up killing one of the slaves in the game, right? And like, you see that happen, and you're like, damn it, I wanted to save that person, right? And you watch, and sometimes they're chained up, and like one arm will be hanging, and they'll be bloodied. And I'm like, I looked at this in 94, and I'm like, this is not the I was playing Leisure Suit Larry and King's Quest, right? And like,
So
I'm
not
looking
a
at
child
this
game.
Well, sure, but a very different non-child game. I'm looking at this going, holy shit, this is brutal.
Yeah. Blackthorn's part will be played by Jack Black.
Yes.
The upcoming movie.
I'm looking at the design of the troll creature. Like, it looks straight out of World of Warcraft, the troll design with the tusks and everything. I wonder if they pulled some of the ideas from there. Yeah, it's definitely Blizzard. It's another one where I'm surprised they didn't do a sequel of this one. I think it did okay reception wise. I thought it did all right. But this is a theme that's different for them.
It got good reviews. So the main character's name is Kyle, and he's named, where did they pick his name from? It's inspired by Kyle Reese from the Terminator.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, the whole shotgun,
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. This is a good pick. This is one I've only played a little bit of this one when we were doing our Press B Top 100. I went to try a little bit of this. I'm terrible at it, but I definitely like the graphics. The style is really cool. It is definitely Flashback coded, and like, you're not wrong, Chard. When you try and play Flashback, you're like, oh, it's a run and gun. It's totally not, though, because you get stuck in the animations. When you roll, you're committed to that roll, and if it takes you off the ledge because you misjudged the hitboxes, you're going off the ledge and you're reloading. This is similar.
It's an Elden Ring, or it's a FromSoft.
Yeah. But I like the combat in this better than Flashback for sure, because like you said, Sinistar, you can dodge into the background, and the shotgun's just cooler than whatever handgun the dude in Flashback has. So plus,
and you do get upgrades,
you
do get upgrades as you go. The SNES port, when we talked about this before, I did try the SNES port. If you want to try this not on DOS, the SNES port is a legit good port.
Oh, good.
Is it censored at all? I feel like it has to be for Nintendo.
Don't think so, but
and when you shoot them, they sweat.
Yeah, it's green goo that comes out.
There you go.
They're not slaves after all; they're just mimic aliens.
They're indentured servants. They're indentured.
I do feel like Blackthorn was the step between Flashback and Abe's Odyssey mechanically.
Yes, I can
Yeah,
see
I
that.
can see that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's just Abe took a lot of the ideas from Blackthorn and threw comedy on them, right?
Right.
Yes. Yeah. Once again, slaves.
Yeah.
Today's
Plus
topic.
comedy. Plus comedy.
Those do great for YouTube. YouTube loves when you talk about slavery.
Today's topic.
Follow me.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you for that. No, it's the SNES port is a good port. Trust. I mean, I would play it on DOS myself, and I probably will, especially since I've got, hey, get your bingo cards. I have a background to point to again, folks. Since I have it on original hardware here. But yeah.
Okay.
Sinistar's going retro with his over the shoulder there.
Yes. Why don't we, instead of doing the reverse, why don't we go back around and Chard? Why don't you start with your game of the year?
Well, yeah, this is why I wanted to go last, because this is easily probably the best game in 1994.
I'll go.
No,
back
it's fine.
off.
It's fine.
Shall we reverse it?
Yeah, I
Jake's
can go.
gonna take it. If he's gonna go, and he's gonna take.
Well, no, I can go
your
next
pick.
because I argue that my game of the year puts up a fight with your game of the year.
He'll put
I
up a
argue
fight, but
that.
he'll lose. So, it's fine. You can get a little bloody, but I ain't gonna win.
All right, fine.
Yeah,
I'm
let's
hosting.
go.
I'm hosting.
Let's loop it
I'm
back
hosting.
around. I
We're
like
going. Okay.
I like
My
it.
game of the year, Sinistar's game of the year for 1994, is a little known game that nobody's ever heard of called Doom 2.
Doom 2. I was just playing that on my Samsung earbuds before I started
There
the
you
episode.
go. Yeah.
I heard there's
So-
a run
Game
button
is
in
the
this
most
one, Sinistar. That's
This
interesting.
game
Yeah,
is the
we'll-
most traveled
we'll-
game out there. It can be played
we'll
on
get to
literally anything.
We'll get to that. We'll get to the run button.
Wait,
Okay.
this wasn't on
Is it
pregnancy
Doom
test, right?
20?
That's the original only. Like,
What's
Was
that?
it the original? I thought
this
it was
wasn't.
Doom 2.
Yeah, the original was on pregnancy test.
Oh,
Doom
okay,
2
okay.
doesn't get ported to
Yeah.
anything.
I thought you were going to
Yeah.
play Doom
Okay.
2016.
So you're bringing up a point that I was going to talk about. First off, Doom 2 didn't really have any sort of spectacular change as far as like, graphics,
need it.
etc. The reason why is because they basically, with the difference in the hardware that was out in the wild, they could expand the maps. So that's really the difference is they went to larger maps, a little bit more open world so that you can struggle around and try to find your way, which makes a point. This video that's playing is me playing it. And you're going to see me just run around and try to like
We're already lost.
find where the hell to go
We're
in
already
the
lost.
second level. And it turns out, I don't know if people know this, first person shooters have a run button
But yes, they do.
and it's shift.
Yes.
To be fair, I wouldn't have known that either, because I don't expect that kind of feature in a game this old. Like it's like looking up. Can you look up in this one? I don't think you can, right?
No. And in fact, it's funny because the planes, Doom 1 and Doom 2 have this whole thing where they have visually different planes.
Yep.
But as far as firing your weapon, you just aim wherever it is and it
Okay.
shoots. Yeah.
It finds it. It's a heat-seeking bullet.
Yeah.
Shoot a
So
lot of feet.
as long
Bullets
as
on
you
smart topography.
as long as you have X and Y axis, or sorry, X axis correct, Y axis the game worries about.
Yeah.
So
Don't worry. We'll correct it. It's fine.
no, once again, I mean, this is just, I mean, there's some new enemies. There are larger levels. The levels are designed kind of a little more open. But I mean, this is Doom. This is Doom.
Let's do.
I mean, this is a game. I know that Wolfenstein 3D probably really started the genre, but I argue Doom
Let's do.
really started the genre, right?
It may have not have started it, but it solidified itself
Yeah.
as like
Right.
the king of the genre.
And
So
it
much, in
added the
fact, that
multiplayer
we're still
aspect.
getting Doom games to today
Yeah.
later on. And where are you, Wolfenstein? Not doing very
Yeah,
well.
they had some in through the
They
early
had some,
2000s.
but they're not Doom. They're not.
There was multi in
Yeah.
this one. Was it any good? Because
Yeah.
when I think of
Yes.
multiplayer early FPS, I think of
Yes.
Quake. I don't really think of Doom.
Oh,
okay.
I played the hell
Yep.
out of this game multiplayer.
Me and my buddy did.
You like the arena shooter aspect. This really led to Quake, the arena shooter aspect. There are levels where it's a circle so that you're taking on a boss. Oh, that was perfect for arena shooter multiplayer, right? I mean, so yeah, this had both dial up 2-player and it had LAN multiplayer. It was epically good. I can't tell you how many. I guarantee my hours playing this multiplayer are like multiple orders of magnitude larger than me playing this single player.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I have a fun story about Doom 2. This was the first person shooter that I managed to get on my Windows 95 compact Presario combination DVD and floppy 8-inch floppy disk drive. My dad installed it for me at a young age and saw me playing it and went, might not have been the best decision to put that on there for you, son. And I said, probably not, but I'm going to go play with my friend growing up and we're going to kill each other for the next couple of hours.
Yeah.
And that's basically what we did. I played Doom 2 with my childhood friend at nauseum for forever and ever. It was this and Duke Nukem 3D. We played all the time. But obviously this was the start. I think I played more Doom 2 than I played the original Doom, and then went back and played more Doom after Doom 2 really solidified, the first person genre, the arena shooting genre. So Doom 2 is an excellent pick. And yes, it will put up a fight and it will make things bloody, as Doom typically does, but it's not going to win.
Arguably, I think really game of the year on PC for sure. I don't think this has competition as far as comparing to what's coming.
Agreed.
It's a fight.
Yeah, agreed.
This is like one of the games that defined what PC gaming could be, right? Like PC gaming wasn't just simulations. It's not just SimCity or Civ or whatever. It's fast-paced, really graphically impressive, like 3D graphics. Like this definitely set a standard for PC gaming. Like if you had a console, like you had a SNES or you had a Genesis, they couldn't do something like this. I know we have a SNES version of Doom, but it doesn't look nearly as good as the PC version. Not even close.
It's not. Don't call that bastardized version Doom just because it's on the title. That's fine, disgusting.
That's like Carmageddon on the N64. That is a bad game.
Doom is.
Like it says something that we actually got ports of Doom and Hexen on the N64, right? I know they're a little bit different, but the fact that they got ports is telling.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Once again, Carmack and Romero are pushing the PC genre, right? Like they took Commander Keen or Jazz Jackrabbit and figured out how to make side scrollers on PC. Once again, Carmack and Romero are like, what's next? And they made Doom and Doom 2. Right?
Jump.
Right?
Commander Keen to Doom, right?
Yeah.
Talk about having Cheerios instead of eggs and bacon in the morning, and they change their treats too. Definitely on it depends on what you had that morning.
Yeah. Anyway, my game of the year, 1994, Doom 2. All right. Wulff.
There he is.
All right. So my game of the year, based on the selections that we've made, I went with Sonic 3.
Yes.
Sonic the Hedgehog 3 was a really cool game at the time. It was the bonus of the fact that my dad had pre-ordered it for me, so I also got the Sonic CD soundtrack with it, which was a weird package, but Sonic 3, I know this game still quite well, to the point where Jake was once trying to toy with the idea of doing a trivia episode for us. And it was just this super pixelated. It was like, what, 24 by 8
Not
feet
even
or
that,
something.
dude. Like it was like 8 by 8.
It
and
was
you're like,
super
Sonic
low
3.
resolution. And I'm like, why are we looking at a really pixelated Marble Garden from Sonic 3. And he was like, fucking really?
Yeah. Knew it instantly.
Yeah.
I have spent so much time playing Sonic 3. It's ridiculous. This was the one that introduced saving to the game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yep.
Because entries before this, you couldn't save. They didn't have passwords or anything. This one, you would, like, in a new zone, it would save your progress so you could stop.
Did they
you could come back and play later?
Did they use a battery, or was it like non-volatile?
No, it was battery
I
backup.
think it was a battery.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this introduced, saving your progress to the Sonic franchise. And then Sonic and Knuckles later would use the same battery for its file saving.
Nice. Jake
And
loves
cool
Knuckles.
stackable game.
Jake loves Knuckles.
Yeah.
I love Knuckles. I'll take Knuckles over Tails any freaking day of the week because Tails is a stone cold murderer who does not deserve to be in a
Just
16-bit
about
video
to
game.
say,
Wow.
Sonic 3 was also the one that would let you play as Tails by himself for the first
Ooh.
time.
Yep.
When he's solo, he can't kill anybody, so what's the point, right? That's
Wow.
like,
We
Jeffrey
all know
Dahmer
what
without
you're-
victims is not the same thing, right? He needs
It
somebody else to
changed
murder.
up the gameplay dramatically because
It did.
Sonic can only run.
Wow.
He goes fast, but he can only run. Tails
Did-
can fly about.
Did
It
you
lets
just
you get a new
Jeffrey?
vantage.
I was gonna say
Did you just
Tails
Jeffrey
is to Sonic what
Dahmers?
Jeffrey Dahmer is to cannibalism. Thanks, Jake.
That's
Wow.
how
Appreciate it.
awful Tails is as a sidekick.
This is hot take, folks. Hot take.
Wow. He's not that bad, but okay.
This also had the iconic snowboard scene.
Mm,
Yeah,
music
yes.
the
in
ice
that is so
cap.
good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the
Uncredited
song that
Michael
everybody
Jackson,
remembers
yeah.
from Sonic 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then
This
a
soundtrack
couple
is
years
such a
ago,
banger. God, this is
it was
such a good
revealed to
song.
be another song entirely.
Yeah.
And I love that song. That's on my playlist.
Nice.
This is such a good game.
What,
I
Yeah.
grew
does
up
it
absolutely
have-
just eating this game up?
does it have farty bass?
It does.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's a
Good.
It is the Genesis.
Good.
yeah.
What did you expect?
But yeah, this is the one that was like the soundtrack was done by what? Brad Buxer and Michael Jackson, but Michael Jackson's name couldn't be on it because of
Uncredited,
the
yes.
allegations.
Yep.
But I mean,
I mean, you could
you
tell.
still hear like all the
Yeah,
jam and
yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff like
yeah.
that.
You know, it's
Alright.
so you're sitting there as a kid going, this is a Michael Jackson song. This has to be a Michael Jackson. They're like, no, it's not in the credits. You're like,
and
but
credits
no,
had a
it's in there.
sped up version of a Michael Jackson song.
Yep.
Mm.
It's so cool. It's so cool. This game was on repeat. I played this for hours. I'm like Wulff. I got the Supersonic. I played this a game over and over and over again. I'd save it. I'd go to school. I'd come back and I'd play it over and over and over and over again. To this day, this is one of my top Sonic games, if not the top Sonic game.
I have
It's so
never
good.
played this Sonic game.
Really?
It was
When you
so
combine this with Sonic and Knuckles, because back in the day it was a lock-on cartridge, they had a whole advertising
Yep.
campaign.
Yeah.
These days on retro emulation, you can play a combined ROM, and that's the way I would play it, to have one huge back-to-back epic Sonic game. And to me, this
Yeah.
rivals Mario World as far as I'm concerned. Like, it's so long, there's so
okay.
many unique stages, unique everything, and the bosses are really fun. There's if you play as Knuckles, you can play as Knuckles through the whole game, not just Sonic and Knuckles, but also the third game's levels. And the path is different. It's similar, but there's different bosses, and they are similar, but they are harder. So there's just a lot of game here, and I really love that as a kid. This is the Sonic game I like. I know a lot of people will say that Sonic 2 is the better game. I never agree with that. I always thought Sonic 3 was the best of the 2D franchise.
Mm.
I
I
like
would
the
agree
different
with that.
pathing in this game. I love that Knuckles can go other places. And like you said, when you attach it with Sonic and Knuckles, you just have this epic story of Sonic 3 going to the Sonic and Knuckles games. And it's so much, it's worth every freaking penny that you put into buying both of these games. It was such a great idea.
Because Sonic and Knuckles literally picks up like moments after Sonic 3 ends.
Yeah.
Yep.
It tweaks the
And
original
so
ending
if
of
you
Sonic
have them-
3 to make it so it keeps continuing, and it works fine. I think they might make the
Yeah.
last stage a little bit easier in 3 just to make it carry through to the Mushroom Zone. But yeah, it's one big adventure. Really awesome.
Good pick.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. I'm learning games I need to try.
Oh, Sonic 3 is definitely one of the top games that you should give a whirl.
Although a little spoiler, I may be trying some games we've never tried next week.
There you
go.
Just throwing that out there.
Wow.
Next Friday, we're talking about something that's not necessarily so retro. Anyway.
On
we
our
are the most
podcast, not talking
podcast.
about retro, that's just not
we
heard
are
of. We don't do
the
that.
most retro podcast on
Never
YouTube.
done that before.
Yeah.
And
most retro.
You want to do a music episode or something. That's madness.
How about tabletop RPGs again?
Might have one to talk about actually, but anyway. Who's next?
That would be
Star Forge is pretty good.
Jake.
Yeah. Okay.
Me?
Jake, you're next.
Yeah, it's you.
Okay, we'll pull it real quick. My game of the year, which is kind of weird now that I think about it, is Kirby's Dream Course, which is mini golf. Don't you all like mini golf?
Wow.
Wait, you picked a fucking Kirby game?
You did.
Not just
I
a
like
Kirby
Kirby.
game, a Kirby golf
A
game.
golf game. Yeah, it's great. Okay.
Is there really that many games missing in 94?
Since
I'm going to say that, you guys did pick the ones I originally was going to pick. You could say that you guys, pre-stole my game, so I had to scrape the bottom of the 94 barrel. But what a barrel
There's
it was.
so much fish in that barrel.
Yeah.
There really
Yeah,
is.
this is one of them. This is a trout in that barrel. Kirby's Dream Course is one of the best games in the SNES. And this is one of my go-to games for the SNES. This is, when I spin up the Super Nintendo emulator, it's either this or Super Metroid. If I want like a quick hit, this is the one I play. This is a pretty decent mini golf game. It's got power-ups. How many stages? I took notes. That's how special this fish is, okay? 12 courses, 8 stages each. And once you beat it, and you unlock a special arranged mode with harder courses. What I didn't know, because I didn't really have many friends at the time who want to sit and play golf with me, but there's dedicated multiplayer levels that are unique in this game. I didn't realize that. But it was originally a game called Special Tee Shot, and I guess it didn't want to get released, so they rethemed it as a Kirby game, and they made a golf game. But it's all the charm of a Kirby game, right? With the characters and the enemies are all from the 2D game. Or here, the gameplay is just solid. It's a solid mini golf game. I'm not a huge golf fan, but I like mini putt, and this is like mini putt with Kirby, and it's a solid game.
Cute mini putt. Yeah.
Music is cute. There's a lot of stage variety, and like it's not just putting on a green, right? You're on like different slopes and levels. You're sending the ball freaking flying across the stage. It's one where you can try and go for like low strokes. It's really interesting. There is power ups, like I said. I don't know. It's a pretty solid thing. A lot of things here. If you had told me that it wasn't originally a Kirby game, I wouldn't have believed you. I had to go look. When I looked up that it was originally called something else, I was kind of floored because like to me this has always been a Kirby game. This is another one where I'm kind of surprised they haven't come back and done another one of these, right? Like I'm not sure what's up with Nintendo sometimes. Like this is a solid game.
Was this SNES?
This was SNES, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah. I've not played this, and pardon me making fun because that was not my intention.
Well,
I just thought I was waiting. Listen, Jake throws his curveballs all the time.
Well,
and he'll
Jake,
pop up a video of something, and we'll be like, "Really?" He's like, "No, I'm actually picking Duke Nukem 3D or something, something like that." But
Jake liking your Kirby game is like
yeah.
the world has ended.
You're gonna put on Wily Wars now, okay? But to be real,
better? Are you entertained now? Is this better?
I'm not.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
I love mini putt games and mini putt golf
I'm gonna
games,
need
and I
some
think
more. I'm gonna need some
it's
more
not
of my
Circus
red
Charlie,
cup
so it's
water.
fine, but I've never played the Kirby golf mini game, but I think I would enjoy it because I actually do enjoy a lot of the mini golf simulators that they have out there, and it's Kirby. I mean, you can't, in my opinion, you can't go wrong with Kirby. I think that's a cool concept. So
It kind of
looks fun.
It kind of looks like it plays a little bit-ish like Marble Madness.
Nah,
Am
I was
wrong?
thinking the same exact thing, and I think
it
the
does
slopes
not.
Like
in
it,
the,
but
in
no.
the thing.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
Marble Madness, you have to rotate the board, right, to get the marble to go.
Yeah.
Aiming.
No.
and
It
shooting.
just looks like
rotate
there's
the
a
ball.
little aspect of like control
is that how you-
while it's going.
I think you can jump here and there. You get
Okay.
some power ups that you can use while Kirby's in motion, but the putt is what directly controls his movement. Aside from that.
Okay.
And you have
I'm a fan
good
of this,
degree of
the
control,
back
right?
bend you can put in.
Like you can
Yeah.
adjust what angle you hit on the ball or hit on Kirby's ass to send him flying. Like it's, but it's like the amount of control that's there. It doesn't feel clunky or out of place. It just feels pretty natural, very fluid. It's just an easy to pick up game. This is a game that I can play with my kids and they have no issues understanding it. I like how it includes the like a line guide. Like Puzzle Bobble has a guide for the first few shots, but this has it through the entire game. Makes things very accessible to get into. Still a very challenging game, especially when you're trying to line up a shot where you have to take down all the enemies at once in one shot. That's very challenging to do. Very rewarding though. And yeah, there's power-ups to like you jump and turn tornadoes and crazy shit. But it's a very polished, fun, just genuine fun game. So I mean, it's no Sonic 3, and it's no Super Metroid, and it's no Doom 2, but I think it's better than Blackthorn.
Whoa, we have to be. Wow, Jesus. Okay. We have to be.
pretty good.
We honestly, I mean, here's the thing: is like we very rarely talk about sports games, and I know this is barely a sports game.
You know what? Technically, it is a sports game. Yeah,
It is.
It is a sports
It
game.
is.
yeah.
I kind of love
rules.
I kind of love that a game of the year from someone is a, quote unquote sports title. I love it because we like, is NBA Jam a fucking gem of a game? You're goddamn right it is, but I'm never going to throw it on a list, right?
My
Actually, was
game
that
of the year
94?
is
That might have been
John
94
Madden
too.
football.
That might have been 94.
It might have been 94.
yeah.
Might have
It's
been.
definitely
NBA
in the
Jam
90s.
is a gem of a game, especially when you turn on big head mode.
Yeah.
I'm all in.
Give me Chris Richmond and Mike Bibby. We're
no,
rocking.
it was 93.
Oh, okay.
Oh, was it
all right.
93?
Okay,
was
well,
93.
either way, we obviously sometimes struggle to talk about sports or sports sideways titles, right?
Because
And
nobody
so-
wants to hear me talk about sports in this podcast. So
Well,
keep
but
it
we've
up.
talked Tecmo football or Tecmo Super Bowl, right?
That's
Yeah.
I mean, with GP, yes.
I think we really I don't think any of us are ever going to throw a Madden game up as a game of the year
No.
ever.
Mutant League
Well,
Football, however, that might come up.
Well, and there are like Robot Football League and stuff.
Challenge
there's some,
accepted.
But no, I think that is a challenge we should do.
Yeah,
Maybe we rank sports games or sports and sports like games. And I love, Jake, that you picked a sports akin game as a game of the year.
Everybody
for
knows that Jake
1994.
is the.
I'm not.
I
sports
love
figure.
sports. This is like hockey. It's
I know.
great.
I know I always give you grief, Circus Charlie aside. I think this is honestly beautiful that you did this.
Well, I'll take it. But yeah,
Yeah.
this is one to play. It really is. I mean, I'm making fun of it and shitting on it, but it's which is kind of what I do.
No,
But I actually do genuinely
I
like
think
this
it looks.
game quite a
I think
bit.
it looks fun as hell.
Yeah.
Jake,
I fucking
yeah,
love the Mario
next
golf
podcast,
games.
Jake, you better have a Blue Jays hat on, or I'm not going to show.
Actually, I do
I
have
know,
a few.
this is
I know you do.
I
I'm
love
aware
the
that they're
Mario
floating around
golf
your house
games.
somewhere.
I'm gonna
Mario
be
Golf's
honest with you.
fantastic.
I love the Mario golf.
There you go.
Hot Shots Golf is one of my favorite golf game. It's one of my favorite games on the PSP, and I was pretty hyped when they announced a new one. There's Everybody's Golf. Hot Shots Golf is coming out, I think, later this year. Actually, I was pretty excited for that.
Alright.
So there are games that,
Yeah.
even though I'm not a fan of I know Tiger Woods by name, but I can't say I've ever watched a fucking golf game with him. I know Mike Weir because he's Canadian, but I've never sat through an entire golf match on TV. But some of the golf games are actually pretty fun to play. So I guess this qualifies one.
One of these days, I'll probably show links on this machine, this piece of hardware that's behind me. Links is fantastic.
Links is
The
that's
Tony Hawk games are good.
man.
There are some
I love me some
fantastic.
Tony Hawk.
Okay.
There are some fantastic snowboard games that we
Yeah.
need to talk about.
Yeah.
So Jake,
Tricky.
I am literally not
SS
shitting
Tricky,
on you. I love the fact that you threw a putt golf game with like the madness of Kirby.
Yeah.
As
And it's Kirby all over the damn place. Like they re-themed this so hard. If you look at the original and compared to this, like they definitely ran with the whole the Kirby theming, and it's pretty awesome.
Nice.
No, this is a great pick. I'm gonna
Oh.
go fucking play this in the next day or two.
I didn't realize Everybody's Golf was the same franchise as Hot Shots Golf.
Yes. I thought it was a dead franchise for
learned
years. So it looks pretty rad. So you know what? Maybe we'll just spin the off the podcast and to become golf only. That's what we'll do.
Yeah, that's it. Well, golf and Madden. We've got to do Madden.
Golf and Madden. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've never played a Madden
they're-
game ever.
I played one 2 nights ago. I played the new one.
I don't think I would ever. I would often pick a sports game as like one of my favorite games.
Yeah.
But there are a few exceptions, like NHL '94, Blades of Steel. I like hockey games, apparently.
Oh, Blades of
Blades
Blades of
Steel.
Steel is a classic.
Blades of
Yeah.
Steel.
Even just
Games are
ice
fantastic.
hockey on the NES is so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just
Yeah.
got
The
hockey up here.
first time I saw throwing gloves on Blades of Steel, I was like,
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Hockey's great. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yep. Okay.
But yeah, it's Kirby's Dream Course.
Yeah.
Really good game, very solid. Like Jake said, it's accessible, it's fun, it's pretty to look at. And I think it actually has a modding community, or at least it did when ROM Hacks was still around.
Does it?
I don't
I
know
haven't
if it
looked
is
at that.
anymore, but
Okay.
I know I saw the Game Grumps play through the 2-player mode of it. And then that was such a huge success, their fans put together another 2-player course for them to play.
Oh, nice.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
Also-
I
So-
love
so-
level editors.
Also, how the fuck are we not called Game Grumps?
Yeah, right.
They beat us to it by about,
So they-
I don't know,
Couple
14
years.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm fucking 50. I'm almost 50. Jesus.
We're just
We're way
grumpy
more
and drunk.
grumpier than they are. They're obviously too high and happy over there. I like their channel, but no, they're not grumpy.
I'm not kidding. I signed up for AARP this year, guys.
Wow.
All right. Seriously, I'm gonna take every game off of this that I've never played, and I'm gonna play it seriously because this is so good. Jake, thank you for Dream Course. Dream Course?
Yes.
Kirby's Dream Course.
Okay.
Rolls off the tongue.
All right. Yeah.
Much like
All
Mega
right.
Man Wily Wars. Just a game that
Yes.
just you can't stop thinking about.
Yeah.
All right.
Jake's third runner-up for Game of the Year. All right, Chard. All right, we're getting to it. Hold on, we're
yeah.
getting to it, folks. You've been here, you've been going, goddamn 1990 fucking 4. Where is it? Jake, Chard.
My game of the year, hands down, the best game in the year 1994 is obviously Lee Corvo's putting challenge on.
It's a classic.
I wanted to
You want
pick
a
a
good
sports
golf
game.
game.
And that's our episode, folks. Thanks.
That's it. You can't beat that. We don't even have video for that. No, obviously, everybody knows who I am. Drum roll, please. It is Final Fantasy VI. Final Fantasy VI is the greatest game to come out of 1994, if not in most. Assigned Final Fantasy III for the Super Nintendo here in the Americas, but of course, all in all, Final Fantasy VI to everybody else later on in the years. What can you say? This game has the greatest cinematic opening to pretty much any Final Fantasy, if not game at this point. The music is still an absolute banger from start to finish. This game is so amazing. There's nothing else to say that hasn't already been said about Final Fantasy VI that I haven't already said, or Jake, or Wulff, or Sinistar, or GP hasn't said about this game already. Final Fantasy VI is just, bar none, the best game to come out of 1994, if not almost on the Super Nintendo, if it weren't for a little time traveling game that we also love that came out a year later, if not two.
Yeah. I mean, let's not forget, in a different year, I'm gonna agree with you on a different game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
But I mean, you start this thing up, you got the credits rolling in, the Final Fantasy 3 flashes across the screen,
You got the
lightning,
mechs walking.
and then you got the mechs walking in the snow, and the epic theme song to Terra's theme, walking towards Narsh, and you're just like, what is I am ready. My body is ready, my mind is ready, and it never gets bad. There's never a point where you're like, I hate this game.
if you want to understand the value of Final Fantasy VI, Magic the Gathering is doing a Final Fantasy crossover right now. Right now. And Kefka is a legendary creature in that game.
And
there's a suplex the train card in that set, actually, too. You know how close I was to picking that set up? There is. There's so many Easter eggs in that Magic set.
Yeah.
I just wish it wasn't so
I'm real
damn
close
expensive.
to it, too.
I've never been priced in the hobby so bad like they with Magic.
I saw the Terra card, and I haven't played Magic since fucking middle school. I haven't even touched a Magic card since middle school. So when I saw those, I went, oh, I got to look into that. And of course, they're astronomically priced, which they're going to sell. And
Kefka Court Mage. Kefka Court Mage is the card. Like, seriously.
I can't even. So, no, this, we might have some people out there that aren't huge fans of this game or understand why it gets the love that it gets. But there's so much to this game, and it's so deep, and it's so good.
I mean, I still think this is one of the strongest entries in the whole franchise.
Yeah, hands down. Yeah, without question.
Well, arguably, isn't this the game in the franchise? I know everybody fucking loves 7. God damn it! But
I think 6 is better.
Yeah, I agree.
Isn't this
as
game?
this day stands, I think we all harmoniously agree that 6 is probably the Final Fantasy. Now,
I could argue would probably argue for 4. I think because he loves 4.
Oh well, no, that's not true because he has says where I see.
He says
yeah.
6 is the better story. He loves 4 for his childhood memories.
Right. Same. But that's exactly where I am. 4 is my favorite Final Fantasy. 6, I think, is the objectively best Final Fantasy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which I can see a difference there. Like 6 is very strong, but 4 was my first RPG, let alone my first Final Fantasy.
A little spoiler, folks. There's probably a year that 6 is going to make my Sisyphean list.
It was mine last year.
Yeah.
But I mean, realistically, I did Chrono, right? I really need to do 6. And here's the thing. I'm gonna spoil it a little bit for the upcoming Sisyphean. I don't know if it's this year. I'll be honest with you, and I need to get over this. This is a personal hang-up. Mechs in a fantasy game bother me.
No, but this is not
there's
just
an
a
explanation.
It's a fantasy. It's a fantasy steampunk world, and steampunk is
it is.
I get that.
It's steampunk, but really it's magic punk.
Right. I get that.
Like,
I get that. It's
mechs
my own
are
personal
powered
hang-up.
by magic.
Right. Yeah. I get it. It's
and
difficult
I know,
to be like you got
not
vehicles
knowing,
in a fantasy game, right? I mean,
but
I
not knowing the story, I can understand the hang up there. Like it
Yeah.
seems out of place. As you play the story and see where they get the magic and all that, totally fits and it makes sense.
Yeah, no, and that's my personal hang up. I know it's my personal hang up. Like, I come from an era of Wizardry and Bard's Tale and Ultima, right? Where fantasy is fantasy is fantasy is fantasy, right?
Yeah.
There's no mechs, there's no like steampunk, there's no, it's wizards and sorcerers and like warriors, etc. And like, that's my own hang up. Just like Chrono, I need to get past it. At like Chrono's the fair. I need to get past it, right?
Yeah, there are limits
the
to
mechs. The mechs are called Magitech. So like,
like
they're Magitech armor. So
like playing Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth right now, there is literal bus stops. I mean, they call them chocobo stops, and I'm like, what the fuck are we doing here? What? There nobody's waiting in the middle of in a field at a bus stop with a fucking seat.
Listen,
whoa.
Final Fantasy 15 is three dudes on a road trip in a car. I mean,
Well, I played Earthbound. I waited for buses. Okay,
that's different though. You were in a town. It made sense when you were at.
But 6, I think, is definitely where it's the steampunk all over the place. I mean, the first major town you're in the intro is powered by steam everywhere. So the aesthetic for me works, and I love this one. Yeah,
and
I just need to get over my hang up. Honestly, I love the D&D setting Eberron, which is steampunk.
Yep.
I do.
Mhm.
And so really what I need to do is kind of like combine the two and be like, we're good, and just go
But
with it.
here's the thing you get to do with it is that a lot of the mechanized versions of shit are all the bad guys. You're fighting the bad guys that have the mechanized stuff, and you're trying to stop them from having said mechanized stuff because the
Okay.
way they
Yeah.
get it is an inhumane
Morally
way of getting the
reprehensible.
power.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
The origin of the magic is pretty gross.
you can take your disdain and be like, I'm going to get rid of all this magical robotic shit with the rest of my team because it is morally indispensable or morally whatever the hell you said. Well, that's smarter than what I said.
Anyway, I know we're off topic here.
But no,
I will
but-
honestly, 6 is on my list of Sisyphean lists. It really is. 6 and a bunch of other games, right?
Yeah.
And so what do I pick? By the way, spoiler folks, I'm changing my Sisyphean this year. I've already talked to these yahoos. Anyway,
You gotta stop picking RPGs. I hope you picked a nice short game.
no, he's picking another.
I'm gonna
RPG.
pick Street Fighter 6 diamond level.
Yeah. No, I
That's
thought
a
you
good
did that
one.
last year. I thought we already did that last year.
I think we all did Street
I-
Fighter 6 last year.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. I
No,
do want to throw in
um,
my 2 cents about 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, please. I got
is
some more to
phen-
go on too, so you go right ahead.
Phenomenal score. It has so many characters that you could make arguments about which one is the main character and essentially still be right.
Totally.
They're like it has secret characters like that you can completely miss and not get at all.
Right.
And not just one, but multiple. We're not talking like, you might miss that one chance to get the one character. No, there's a secret character that you need another secret character to get.
Yep.
It's meta secret characters.
It is. This fight is so good. The last boss fight is clearly one of the most beautiful pieces of digital artwork that I have seen come out of it. This is going to be a future tattoo for me at some point in my life. I love this game. This game has homages all the way up to here. I mean, if anybody has played Sea of Stars, Throes of the Watchmaker, even the first 15 minutes of like the first dungeon type area, there's a heavy callback to Final Fantasy VI, and it is fucking hilarious. It is so perfect. You fight a train. You're fighting a train, and guess what happens to said train?
You suplex it.
You fucking suplex it. It
I've
is
only
so
played
cool.
it for an hour. I've missed that
Yeah.
so far. I haven't played that far.
Well, you'll know about it because it's one of the major first boss fights that you get into while you're playing it. But I mean,
That's awesome.
this game from '94 has calls out 21 years, how many 30 years later, 31 years later, they're still calling back to like funny things about it or things about this game. This game is so iconic from start to finish, and whether it's iconic because you love it like we do or iconic because you fucking hate it and don't understand it, it's still there. It's like Doom 2. It's like Doom on your pregnancy test. It's there.
Like I said, I've never played this game through.
Mhm.
But I have watched multiple playthroughs, although I always try to kind of avoid. I understand what happens with Kefka, and I understand the middle point of the game where things change.
Right.
But it is a game that I really feel like I am missing out not playing.
There's enough peppered around the game itself that even though the world gets destroyed, Kefka wins, you fight him as a god.
Wait,
blah, blah,
what?
blah. Even though you know that stuff, right?
Wait, what?
It still will lead you on an emotional journey that you may not be prepared for, that you didn't expect to happen. Video games aren't supposed to make you feel feelings like that. Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy VI make you feel shit you did not know you could feel from playing.
I was gonna say fucking Toad's character. Jesus Christ, Frog's character.
Right. I know.
Yeah.
Right?
So
Jake,
the,
what do you
the
got?
only game besides this one that I had this, like I recently beat Clair Obscura Expedition 33, and like when we did the episode on it, I was kind of like, 6 hours in, it's a fun game, it's cool, whatever. But since that episode, I've actually beaten it, and I freaking love that game. And the feels I get from that game and the final bosses goes back 30 years to Final Fantasy VI. I've in between that 30-year span, no other RPG or honestly many games really have invoked that amount of emotion and like awe and like, wow, this is fucking amazing. Except for Clair Obscur. That's how impactful Final Fantasy 6 is how it stays with you. Is like, I love that game, and to me that's the SNES. Like, I like Zelda and Metroid and all that too, and it's great, but FF6 is just such a masterpiece of art on that console, and like, I've not felt that way about any game since Clair Obscur. Like, it's so iconic on gaming's history. Like, it really is such a fantastic game.
Jake and I need to have a spoil cast episode about Clair Obscur, because he and I are both, we have very emotional feelings about how fucking incredible the writing is in that game and where that story went.
And like, my opinion changed so much since we did the episode, because I didn't beat it when we did the episode. We should do that as a spoiler. Anyway,
speaking of
this
upcoming
is the
episodes,
game of the year for 94.
Yeah, we need to do a Sisyphean follow-up at some point soon. We're halfway through the year.
You mean I got to install Half-Life again?
Maybe.
Well, no, you uninstalled it, so you beat it.
I beat it. Yeah. Well, we'll do a victory.
Halfway through the year, it's time to start doing something about that Half-Life.
Wow.
Lots of time. It's only June.
And you can't use Half-Life as well. It cuts it in half, right? So I get a little bit longer than you guys do. So I get to play it a little longer than you guys do. No,
Fine,
that's not this. It's not radioactivity. Okay, it's the game.
Yeah. No,
this isn't Chernobyl, buddy.
I mean, I think every pick for Game of the Year has been a banger. I think on the DOS side, Doom 2 wins over Final Fantasy 6, but I really think on the SNES, Final Fantasy 6. I know Kirby Golf looks awesome, and I want to play it. But
that's a challenge right there. Challenge accepted.
But I mean, as far as like a game released on the SNES in 1994, and I know we got Final Fantasy 3, but it really is 6. Yeah.
It's a shame we didn't get 5, because 5 is a good game. 5 is a really good.
Yeah, 5 was pretty fun too. Not the same level as 6 or 4 though, but I did like 5 gameplay quite a bit with the job system. But I mean, what the hell? Like 94 was like just a epic year, right? Because that was when the console war was in full swing. You had Genesis and SNES were in their prime. All the hits were coming out on both platforms, and it just
DOS was
16-bit.
DOS was a very strong player in 94. I picked two games. There are so many games on that list in 1994 that, I mean, this is a great year. Come to our Discord and tell us what game you picked for 1994, because there's like 100 games that could have been Game of the Year in 1994.
Easily.
Yeah, if you're a fan of Mega Man: The Wily Wars and that close-knit, tight community of Mega Man fans who love Wily Wars and respect it, feel free to come to our Discord and tell us why we should have picked it as somebody's pick. I mean, I had 2 great picks.
Let's crack open that cold can of
these guys
Dr.
have no
Thunder.
I was this close to nominating Castlevania Bloodlines for the Genesis.
It's a good one.
That's a good one too.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah, 1994 is a hard pick, right?
This was I think we all had our picks within the first like 5 minutes of looking at the game list.
Well, and I literally looked at a bunch and I was like, that really should be Game of the Year on DOS, but it's obscure. That's the problem, is I picked games that people would know, right?
Right.
As far as the DOS games go, there were some obscure games that should have been
like what?
Speaking of obscure,
like Legend of Kyrandia 3.
Whole episode together.
Okay.
Legend of Kyrandia 3, Malcolm's Revenge, is a fantastic fucking game.
What kind of game is that? Is it like a first-person?
It's RPG, an adventure. It's a point and click.
Oh,
it's Westwood fucking Studios. Westwood fucking Studios.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody who's watching the video, just know that a portal is not opening up behind me. The sun is hitting my screen there. There's not a portal. Everybody chill out. It's my curtains moving, but I'll tell you what, it did catch my eye for a minute.
If I remember right, I think maybe the first Heroes of Might and Magic came out in 94. I mean, it's a hard list to pick from, but I knew people would pick Doom, or would know Doom 2. And I mean, how do you suppress Doom 2? And then Blackthorn, of course, was ported to like everything. right? So, no, banger year 1994. Hard pick for years.
Show.
I mean, it doesn't have a Circus Charlie.
But I mean, there's no Circus Charlie, sadly, in '94. But I noticed we're going away from the '80s the last couple episodes. We need to start shifting gears, going back toward the '80s, closer to release date of Charlie's. I can bring that up. Or we can just do a whole episode on it if you guys want. I mean, don't twist my arm or anything, but I'll gladly talk about Charlie for multiple episodes in a
Jake,
series.
I don't think you want the three of us with you talking about Circus Charlie. I don't think that's
I got a mute button. It's okay.
Let's talk about rotten fruit.
Uh,
All right.
yeah. Yeah. Sorry. XCOM UFO Defense. Fucking amazing game.
XCOM's great too.
Yeah. Magic Carpet. Great game. Wing Commander 3. Under a Killing Moon. Oh, dear God. Why did I not pick that? You know why? Because nobody knows that game. Anyway.
It's supposed to be your game of the year, 94, not everybody's
I know.
Oddball picks are good.
Yeah. That game, by the way, has what's his name that was the voice of Vader?
Mark Hamill?
James
Earl
Jones.
Jones.
Yeah,
Wow,
has
I
James
pulled the
Earl
wrong name
Jones
real
has
quick.
James Earl Jones in it. Under a Killing Moon
Mufasa?
has James Earl Jones in it. So yeah. Yep.
All right.
Well, fantastic, gentlemen. This has been a banner year, 1994. Okay, come to our Discord, pressbtocancel.com, pressb.org. We are part of the Superpod Network, superpodnetwork.com, I believe. Jake?
Yes, I think so. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Many other, including Superpod Saga, 3DO Experience, us, a number of others, Superpod Network. We'll be on all of your podcast sources. We're on YouTube. Give us a subscribe on YouTube, please. It's free. It helps us. We're pushing toward that. We're pushing toward that 500 goal, that 500 subscriber goal. But yeah, we love talking about things. We have good conversations. Yeah. Anyway, much love, everybody. We appreciate it. This has been another Press B to Cancel.